Let's talk about Donald Trump. The US president has swung from side to side in the Ukraine-Russia war. In the span of the last 4 months, he has managed to accuse Kiev of gambling with World War III and at the same time urged Moscow to stop with its killings. But to say that Trump is coming from an unbiased position will be wrong. He is playing his own game, one that the world may not be noticing. But there are clues in his latest social media post. But before I come to that, let's ask some questions as we always do. Why is Trump calling Putin both crazy and a friend? Has Trump found a win-win situation in the Russia-Ukraine war? And is there a method to Trump's flip-flops on Ukraine war? I'm Ananya Datta and you're watching Grey Zone. The last 2 weeks have been intense for the Russia-Ukraine war. On May 10th, Ukraine, the UK, France, Germany and Poland met. They presented a proposal to Trump and also gave Putin 48 hours to agree to a ceasefire. But the deadline came and went and nothing really happened. Putin proposed direct talks between Moscow and Kiev, which confused Europe but convinced Trump. As Istanbul hosted the uncertain talks, the battleground reflected the same emotion. Russia and Ukraine continued to exchange fire, and at times, much more intense than before. The same diplomacy versus death saga continued this weekend. On one hand, Russia and Ukraine completed their largest prisoner swap of 1,000 people. But on the other hand, a Russian barrage of 367 drones and missiles hit Ukrainian cities, including Kiev. It has been deemed the largest aerial attack on the war so far.
I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
So Trump has taken cognizance of the contrast. Today he tweeted this, a 172-worded post on Truth Social. Now we are going to divide this in 3 different parts that will give us a full picture of how Trump is looking at this war. First is Russia. Trump is speaking about Putin while speaking to Putin. He said, and I'm quoting, "I've always had a very good relationship with Vladimir Putin of Russia, but something has happened to him. He's gone absolutely crazy. He's needlessly killing a lot of people. I've always said that he wants all of Ukraine, not just a piece of it, and maybe that's proving to be right. But if he does, it will lead to the downfall of Russia." It was a rare moment of criticism from Trump aimed at Putin. The statement followed a deadly weekend in Ukraine, but what stood out wasn't just the condemnation, it was caution. Trump began by reminding people of his long-standing rapport with the Russian president. The US president is aware that he cannot approach Putin the same way he approaches Zelensky. The tone aligns with recent reporting by the Wall Street Journal, which noted that Trump privately told European leaders that Putin has no interest in ending the war because he believes he's winning it. So that admission reveals something deeper. There are fundamental views about the war that Trump and Putin seem to share, namely that Ukraine provoked the conflict, that Zelensky is acting in his own political interest, and that Kiev should consider holding fresh elections. This may help explain why the Trump administration appears reluctant to escalate pressure on Moscow. Since March, the administration has called for a 30-day comprehensive ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed, Russia has denied. It has no intentions of returning any of the Ukrainian land it has seized, occupied, and claims to have annexed. On the contrary, in fact, it's pushing for more, and by offering limited concessions, Putin seems to be keeping Trump satisfied. But there's another layer to all of this, one hinted in the final lines of Trump's post. He says, and I'm quoting again, "This is a war that would never have started if I were president. This is Zelensky's, Putin's, and Biden's war, not Trump's. I'm only helping to put out the big and ugly fires that have been started through gross incompetence and hatred." For Trump, this war isn't only about Ukraine and Russia. the US president sees his actions as part of a broader gambit to reset relations with Russia. President Joe Biden responded to growing Chinese-Russian cooperation by seeking to deepen ties with US's allies. But Trump comes from a different school of thought. He has been ditching the allies and cozying up with a Cold War rival. Russian President Putin is yet to reciprocate these gestures. We don't know if he even will. The sources we have been speaking to in Moscow say that Kremlin is for now dealing with Washington with utmost caution. By labeling it Zelensky's, Putin's and Biden's war, Trump has strategically distanced himself from the conflict. He's created a win-win scenario. If he manages to broker peace, it's a bonus. If he fails, he can claim it was never his war to begin with. The third part of Trump's post is the most depressing. He demeans the Ukrainian president yet again. He has said President Zelensky is doing his country no favors by talking the way he does. Everything out of his mouth causes problems. I don't like it and it better stop. The tone is the same as it was in February's Oval Office showdown. Many are of the belief that Trump is throwing Ukraine under the bus in an effort to end the war without a plan. Trump's visible dislike of Zelensky goes back 6 years to his first term, when the Ukrainian leader refused to help him tarnish Joe Biden's political prospects, which became the subject of Trump's first impeachment. And since then, Zelensky has been close to Democrat Biden and even helped the camp during the 2024 election campaign. So Zelensky is on very tough ground. Analysts say that Trump's desire for a quick peace is riddled with his innate mistrust of Zelensky and his admiration of Putin. The world is expecting Trump to be three things he has never been: reliable, consistent, and pro-Ukraine. The day Trump took office, he turned the conflict into a three-way blame game between Zelensky, Putin, and Biden. He's cleverly stepping outside the battlefield while keeping the controls in his hands. So while missiles fly, talks stall, one thing is clear. Trump is thinking about America like almost all US presidents have. The difference is, this time America is tied to the American president's legacy. And that's the game. You just have to look closely to see it. I'm Ananya Datta. Thanks for watching Grey Zone.